Hello students, welcome to yet another lecture on AC circuits. Today we are going to see what is RLC series circuit and its basics and fundamentals. Up to this lecture we have seen purely resistive circuit, purely inductive circuit, purely capacitive circuit. Then we had seen RL series circuit and RC series circuit. Okay. Now here we will be talking about RLC series circuit. Okay. You can see over here resistance, an inductance and a capacitance connected in series. Okay, so basically when a sinusoidal voltage is given to a series combination of resistance, inductance and capacitance as shown in this diagram. Okay, you can see over here whatever is the applied voltage is actually the phasor sum of whatever is drop across resistance, drop across inductance and drop across capacitance. Okay, you can see over here when we talk about resistance, voltage and current are in the same phase. When we talk about inductance, it is current which is lagging behind the voltage. Okay, and when we talk about capacitance, it is the current which is leading the voltage. Okay, so let us talk about this situation over here. Now what is this situation basically is, again the terminology is remaining same, that V suffix R is the voltage drop across resistor, V suffix L is the drop across inductor, and V suffix C is drop across capacitor, where V is total voltage supplied to the RLC series circuit. Okay, now the condition over here you can see in this diagram that again being series circuit, I'll have to take current as reference phasor in the over here, and in the same phase I'll be having VR, because that's the specialty of resistive circuits, that current and voltage are in the same phase. Okay, then you can see VL will be over here, because if this is current, current should be lagging in case of inductive circuits, so in anticlockwise sense you can see VL is ahead. Okay, similarly when I talk about in capacitive circuits, the current should lead in the anticlockwise sense, you can see again by 90 degrees, so VC is drawn like this. Now having a condition like this, where on x-axis we have VR and on positive y-axis we have VL and negative y-axis I have VC, is it feasible to draw a resultant? No. So since it is not feasible to draw it having two quadrants considered over here, it should be only one quadrant, right? When we draw any resultant, it should be one quadrant, isn't it? So up to this we had seen, when it was RL series circuit, the voltage triangle was lying in the first quadrant, and when it was RC series circuit, the voltage triangle or impedance triangle was lying in the fourth quadrant. Okay, so now what will we do? That in this case it will be, you have inductance as well as capacitance, right? So first quadrant and fourth quadrant both are having the axis, like both are having the vectors. So how can we plot the resultant? Okay, so what we normally do over here is, you can see over here that this is resistance, this is inductance, and this is how the capacitance is there. Okay, so these are the different components of the impedance, and to find out the net thing, it is impossible in this condition. Okay, so what we do normally is, it is again said the same thing over here also. You can see at 0 degrees you have VR, at 90 degrees ahead you have VL, and at 90 degrees lagging you have VC. Okay, so the problem is over here now, how to draw the resultant. Okay, so how to draw the resultant has got one answer as, depending on whether in the RLC series circuit it is inductive dominant circuit or capacitive dominant circuit. If it is inductive dominant circuit, the voltage triangle will be similar to as you get in RL series circuit. Okay, and if at all it is capacitive dominant circuit, you will be getting a voltage triangle that is very much similar to RC series circuit. Okay, so let us consider one case at a time. So very first case is when it is inductive dominant, that is when XL is greater than XC. Okay, now this difference of the reactance XL minus XC or XC minus XL is what is called as, or what is termed as, net reactance. Okay, so whenever any RLC series circuit is given to you, the very first thing should come into your mind is, what is the net reactance of the circuit. Now what do you mean by net reactance of the circuit? You will have to find out what is XL's value and what is XC's value, and depending on which value is greater, it will be that dominant circuit. For example, if XL is greater than XC, it will be inductive dominant circuit. If XC is greater than XL, it will be capacitive dominant circuit. Okay, so let us consider one case at a time. To start with, the very first case, that is inductive reactance is greater than capacitive reactance. Okay, in this case you can see over here, when inductive reactance is greater than capacitive reactance, in this case you can see in this diagram over here. Okay, so again, being RLC, it's a series circuit, so you have I as reference phase, and in the same phase you have VR. Okay, now here you have VL and here you have VC. Okay, so you can see VL's magnitude is greater than whatever is magnitude of VC. Okay, so what we do is, instead of having these two vectors, we draw only one vector, and now that is VL minus VC. Okay, so whatever is VL minus this VC is this magnitude called as VL minus VC. Okay, now it would have been exactly vice versa if it would have been capacitive dominant circuit. Okay, now since it is inductive dominant circuit, VL is greater than VC, so we have VL minus VC in the positive y-axis. Okay, so VR is there and VL minus VC is there. You can draw the resultant as V, and this will be angle subtended by with I. Okay, always remember that power factor angle is the angle between net voltage and net current, total voltage and total current. Okay, so total voltage we have got now as phasor sum of VL minus VC and VR. Okay, so that is the angle subtended is phi, and that is power factor angle. Okay, again cos phi is equal to R by Z, isn't it? Now let us consider this voltage triangle first. You can see this voltage triangle like this. Okay, in the voltage triangle, it was VL minus VC over here, it was VR over here. If I substitute IR over here and IXL minus XC over here and IZ over here, and all I's are cancelled, I get R XL minus XC, and this resulted as Z, where Z square is equal to R square plus XL minus XC whole square. Okay, and of course phi is equal to tan inverse of, now instead of XL or XC by R, it will be XL minus XC upon R. Okay, so wherever you need to write reactance over here, you will be writing, in case of RLC series circuit, it as net reactance. Okay, similarly if I want to put it up in terms of cos phi is equal to R by Z, so Z will be under root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square. Okay, so this is what is impedance triangle, and this was what was called as voltage triangle. I hope you remember this. Okay, yes, let us go ahead. You can see over here the total voltage will now be contributed by VR square plus VL minus VC whole square. Okay, this is from voltage triangle, right? Now if I substitute VR as IR and VL as IXL and VC as IXC, can take I outside, so V is equal to I under root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square. Okay, so that gives you I is equal to V upon under root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square, and that is equal to V by Z. Okay, so Z is equal to under root of R square plus XL minus XC whole square. Okay, then you can see over here again, as I said, when I talk about AC circuits, it is not algebraic sum. So if it is 10 volts applied, so it need not be a case that it is 4, 3 and 3 like that. Okay, because it is not algebraic sum. Okay, it's a phasor sum. That means we have to do the addition on in rectangular form, isn't it? Okay, so we have to have a phasor sum, right? You can see in this diagram, see this is the VR wave like this. Okay, VL you can see is like this. Okay, and VC is over here. Okay, this one. So you can see there is a difference of, this is VL and this is VC. So VL is greater than VC. So this is the case what we are attending right now. Okay, so that is VL is greater than VC. So this is just to give you an example. Okay. Okay, again in another way I'm putting it as VL greater than VC. You can see over here, this is VR's peak, this is VC, and VL greater than VC, R, L and C are connected in series. Okay, and here you can see this is what is happening, that this is VR, this is VL minus VC, and the resultant is V. Okay, The next case is capacitive dominant. In this case, XL is less than XC, or in other words, capacitive reactance is dominant. Okay, so when capacitive reactance is dominant, exactly the same way, on the similar lines as we talked about inductive dominant circuit. Now, since VC is greater than VL, XC is greater than XL, we'll be having the voltage triangle like this. Okay, so it will be VC downwards and VL upwards, and since VC is dominating, this will be VC minus VL and this will be VR. Okay, so you can see in the impedance triangle over here, it is IR over here, this is I into XC minus XL, and this is IZ. Okay, so this is impedance triangle and this was voltage triangle. Okay, so here you can see, yes, I was talking about this diagram. So current in the current as reference phasor, then VR in the same phase, and now this will be see, VL is over here and this is VC. You can see prominently VC greater than VL. So we have this as capacitive dominant circuit. So it will be V is equal to VR square plus VC minus VL whole square. Right, so V will be equal to, you can take I outside, and it will be under root of R square plus XC minus XL whole square. Okay, so that way you will be getting I is equal to V upon under root of R square plus XC minus XL whole square, that is equal to V by Z. Okay, so here the Z will be, you can see, under root of R square plus XC minus XL whole square, because net reactance over here is XC minus XL. Okay, net reactance in the earlier case was XL minus XC. Why? Because it was inductive dominant circuit. Here it is capacitive dominant circuit. So which the net reactance will be XC minus XL, right? Yes. Let us go ahead. Yes, the third case, that is neither the it is inductive dominant nor it is capacitive dominant, but what if XL is equal to XC? That means PL is equal to VC. Okay, in this case, since VC minus VL is equal to 0, you will be having a graph like this. You can see the phasor diagram, that you have current as reference phasor, in the same phase you have VR. Okay, and since VL and VC are compensating each other, we have power factor angle as 0, isn't it? Because it will be only now Z is equal to R, right? Because X component will be 0, XL is equal to XC, right? Is it okay? Yes. So at resonance, XL is equal to XC, VL is equal to VC. Current drawn is maximum. That is why this is also called as current maximization. Okay. Why current is maximum? Because current is equal to V by Z, but now Z is just equal to R. That means denominator is less. When denominator is less, the quantity has to be a high value. Okay, so that is why this is also called as current maximization. Right. Of course, the resonant frequency is 1 upon 2 pi root LC, and the quality factor of this is called as 1 upon R under root of L by C. Okay. Power, again with the same expression, you can have that V is equal to Vm sin omega t, and I is equal to Im sin omega t plus minus phi, plus if at all it is inductive dominant, minus if it is capacitive dominant. Okay. No, it is I is equal to Im sin omega t minus phi if at all it is inductive dominant, and if I is equal to Im sin omega t plus phi if it is capacitive dominant circuit. Remember it or not? Okay. So again you get the same expression, the same derivation, and you get power is equal to RMS values of V multiplied by RMS value of I multiplied by cos phi. Okay, or the simple thing, you can put it up as it is I square R. Okay, let us deal with a problem or two. Okay, so the very first problem, a series AC circuit connected to 240 volts 50 Hz mains. It consists of resistance of 1000 ohm, inductor of 0.2 Henry, and capacitance of 2 microfarad. Find the impedance, power factor angle, current, and power consumed. Okay, so very first thing, as I already said, whenever you will be having RLC problem, the very first thing you have to find out which reactance is dominant. To find out which reactance is dominant, let us find out the reactances first. Okay, so XL is equal to 2 pi FL. You have been given the value of L. Okay, so you can find out the value of L from here. Again, let me again stress upon the thing that pi is to be directly taken from calculator and not as 22 by 7 or 3.14. Okay, so it will be 2 multiplied by, take the value of pi from calculator, multiplied by 50, as long as we are in India, the frequency is 50 hertz for distribution, right? Multiplied by L, that is given to you as 0.2 Henry. Okay, so that comes out to be 62.8 ohm. Why? Because reactances are in ohms. Okay, then Xc is found out as 1 upon 2 pi Fc. This is the common common mistake done by the students is Xc is equal to 2 pi Fc. So please remember, XL is equal to 2 pi FL, but Xc is equal to 1 upon 2 pi Fc. Okay, so again it will be, what you have to do is, in the calculator you do it as 2 into pi directly from calculator into 50 into capacitance value is given as 2 into 10 to the power minus 6. Okay, so have that 10 to the power minus 6 aside and find out this inverse value, x inverse function is there in your calculator. Okay, and multiply it by 10 to the power 6. So that gives you 1592.3567 ohms. Okay, the normal practice we follow is we always calculate the answers up to 4th decimal. Okay, so whatever you people used to do up to 12th was you were rounding out off up to 2nd decimal, but now